Yet another interesting camera angle. Now it's attached to the TV. And good morning. I had a horrible night. First, when I was compiling yesterday's video, my right eye went into this kind of sahalai, that is the Finnish term, you know, that your eye doesn't focus, and sent a message about that to the prayer group. It then subsided fairly fast after I'd sent the message, but then later on it came back in a milder form. But now it is pretty much gone. When I make cooking videos, my buzzword is takeoff, and I haven't done cooking videos in a long while. But I need to start doing them again at some point. But yeah, now visiting the loo, I've been very shaky, moving about, kind of this, when you over exercise yourself, then you get into this shaky state. But I've been lying around or lying down, and when I now move, I'm shaky. Hands were numb, no longer that numb, they're only slightly numb. But what has now appeared is a headache. I have a, what do you call it, headache, and it's, previously I only had it when I kind of exerted myself. Now it's a constant thing, which is an unpleasant development. Today it is off to, I can't remember the name of the station, but there's a station where Piccadilly and a Central Line meet, and Ilona will take her respective train, the Central Line, and I'll take mine, which is Piccadilly, and we'll go have lunch. Now I need to pack all my stuff. I've been a messy, normally I'm not a messy hotel liver. A person who lives in a hotel, I don't make a mess. I have stuff organized, but for this trip, I've scattered stuff around, so I need to gather all my gear and put it in my, what do you call it, suitcase. Don't know how I'm going to move, because I came with 2 bags and now I have 3, and hopefully I'll fit them with me. And struggled for hours to get that Bluetooth speaker to work yesterday. And as a typical consultant, the idea of reading a manual, it is completely out of the question. So, didn't read the manual, and but in order to get the pairing mode on in the speaker, you need to press the power button on for over 5 seconds or something like that. But it took me a while to discover that one. But it's fairly loud and it plays music quite nicely. So, all of the symptoms I mentioned, they might be caused by me exhorting myself yesterday, which is unpleasant. I was kind of hoping that this will start my new active life, that I'll increase my activity bit by bit, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. at least if this happened, it's too unpleasant. One thing I forgot to mention about last night, which was very unpleasant, was the fact that there was a fire alarm, and it came about 1 o'clock British time, and what do you call it? I must have stayed awake a couple of hours after it. Went up to the hall and talked to the next door neighbour. Are you going out? What's happening? Because it came on, it was on for like 20 seconds. It went off, then I thought, it's a mistake. But then it came back on again, and I was like, oh man. And I was thinking, what will I grab? Because it's fairly cold out there. And what will I take with me? And but then it went away again. But this time you were kind of, is the system faulty? Is there fire? What's going on? So I asked the next door neighbour or the person in the next room, and they said that they're not leaving. So I thought that, yeah, I'll stay in bed also. It takes you a couple of hours to get sleep after like that, because you're worrying and you're kind of thinking about, is it burning? Is fire gonna ensue from the what do you call it, cracks and the walls start? I mean, you especially at night, you get into this thinking that something horrible might happen. So that also, what do you call it, destroyed my sleep. And the nasty thing was that my symptoms at that stage, at 1 o'clock at night, they were, I think, the most pronounced. So my vision was a bit blurry, my hands were numb, and I wasn't feeling good at all at that, what do you call it, that hour. And but then when I got to sleep and I woke up, compared to that, I'm feeling a lot better. Finally making my way out of the horribly small hotel room that has been my abode. Switch this way so the light doesn't affect me so bad. And it's a funny feeling. I feel high gills. I don't know what the English word is, but what do you call it? I'm glad to go home and meet my family, and I'm glad to go and meet Ilona. But what do you call it? The feeling of this, I mean, it's been a tremendously short trip. It's a stupidity to, what do you call it, think or feel this kind of a sensation. But yeah, I feel saddened to leave. And so it must indicate that I've enjoyed myself. And then there is the thing that there's the return to the grind. The millstones wait me. Salt mines at first at Fima and then at Försvarsmakten, or however you say that in Swedish. They're military. And obviously they identify strongly with me discovering that I have an illness, and they've been, what do you call it, maybe the most painful moments have been
spent in those places, and I'm going back there, and this has been a nice, how do I say, it has been a nice pause in that.
Do you remember when it first started, September? Love was changing my mind.
First time I actually got exhausted. Walking to this Turnham Green station, had to drag my bags up the stairs, and they weigh quite a bit nowadays, since I have all the souvenirs and stuff like that with me. So knackered, and but it looks like the Piccadilly line is again passing this platform. So let's go to Hammersmith again. That's something I forgot to mention. The weather for the first day, it is absolutely horrible. It's raining. It's not raining like crazy, but it's still drizzling down, making it unpleasant to move about. See, it's all grey. Thought about Rina's comments about being in a good mood, and I view it the opposite way around. If you're in a shitty situation, feeling shitty about it, or being kind of saddened by it, or letting that take over, then that becomes your whole life. You need to apply yourself to make it, to an extent, joyous. So yes, I make a conscious effort to find amusement. No, it was a pleasant meeting. I found a restaurant that had nice and quiet seating. They tried to serve us breakfast first, but then I waited so long that they switched their menus to lunch menu. I had salmon. It wasn't anything special, but now it's off to Heathrow, and the flight home. Let's see how it goes. Feeling awfully shaky at the moment, and now I'm debating what's causing it, whether it be the over-exhaustion yesterday, or me hauling the luggage from the hotel to here. But then again, it didn't manifested itself until late in the lunch, so I'm thinking it's the heavy shopping yesterday. So I'm hoping to get to Heathrow all right. I remember the name of the dish. It was pureed artichoke and salmon, and then a salad. Given the price of the dish, it was edible, but I wouldn't go there again. It was a good place for our meeting because it was kind of quiet, and we could sit there for a long time. They weren't rushed in any way. So now it's on the Piccadilly line down to Heathrow. That's it now, arrived. at Heathrow. Lucky I have these conveyor belts that I can stand on. I'm quite knackered actually, and if I right remember, it's fairly far that I need to go on these conveyor belts in order to get to Terminal 3. But I'm here, and I've previously mentioned this overall ill feeling and weakness, and I now have it. It started at lunch with Ilona, and don't know what is causing it, but I still have strength to get to the plane. Sitting in the airport lounge waiting for the plane to leave. They have completely redone Terminal 3, or let's say it was like this when I last visited, but then I didn't have my gold card yet, so I had to stay with the I didn't get into the lounge, but now I got in here, and they have movie theatre, very tiny one, massage, nail parlour, they have food on order and coffee and stuff like that. So it's a clear improvement to what these lounges or the Finnair lounge used to be, and still feeling wobbly and knackered, especially when I get up. I'm not feeling good, and I still have. Oh yeah, I can show you, because what do you call it? The girls won't be seeing these videos before I get this. So Rebecca requested an extra battery life. So this is now 2 cell phone charges extra life, and then she has an HDMI converter for her Mac so that she can use the projector downstairs. And I went into the anyway, what do you call it? My card got declined in one of these luxury handbag stores, because I planted the idea in my own head that I need to get a luxury handbag for Dietary. And but I knew that my card worked at Harrods, the previous trip. So just a sneak preview, Dietary can display it if she wants to. It's a Marc Jacobs bag that I got her. Let's say that's probably going to be the most expensive bag that I've ever bought in my life. What do you call it? Obviously I can't tell you the price, but I hope she'll carry it with pride, or take enjoyment in it. A man needs to do stuff like that to show that he appreciates his wife immensely. Thank you, Tere. Spent my time in the lounge by watching McDougall's starch-based diet video, and was thinking about what he discovered and how fat is the key element for blood cells clumping together, which then in turn causes the blood-brain barrier to break. And I felt I felt worse than in ages now on these 2 trips, and I've been racking my brain of what has been different, and I have come up with a potential cause, and the cause being that I've been munching in during this trip. There he saw when I packed the nuts when I left. So I bought several kilos of nuts before I left. So basically what nuts are, they're concentrated fat. And eating them in small quantities, I can't remember that I was having any adverse effects, but I consumed them like crazy, basically, for 3-4 days in a row. And only now, when I looked at this video, I came to the conclusion that actually, in addition to me being exhausted, it's a symptom of something wrong. That is a symptom. So what is actually causing the problem behind the symptom? Nuts, or the fat in them, fat therein, might be one of the problems, because cow's milk, fat in that, and fat in different animal products, it has been identified to cause this. So I shall give the excessive nut munching a rest. And another guy who talked about nuts was this fast guy called, what's his name? Lauren Lockman. What do you call it? He's a character also. But his opinion, or what do you call it? He mentioned that they're fat, and then he also mentioned that nuts are just about the hardest energy source for our bodies to actually consume, because Rob might know the scientific processes involved to actually get the energy out of a nut, and how it needs to be broken down. And apparently it is not a very easy process. This one thought from these 2 sources now came to mind when, sitting in the lounge and looking at McDougall YouTube video. I'm sitting at the gate. It's there. 34 is the gate number. It's funny to hear Finnish spoken again. But here we are waiting for the plane to leave. So I finally got on the plane and flying over to Helsinki. And there's nobody in the seat in front of me, nobody sitting next to me, and nobody sitting behind me. So maybe I'll have a fairly well-rested flight. And what do you call it? Yeah, this thing about fat in whatever form not being good for you. It's an interesting one to me, especially since I've never had any issues in gaining weight or what do you call it? That hasn't caused me. The fact that I eat carbs doesn't affect me at all. Or not at all, but you know, it doesn't have a great effect on me. So given that the best I've felt is when I was fasting, which eliminates all fat, it's only water, but then what do you call it? Now that I've been eating this kind of vegetarian fish-based stuff, it has no fat in it, but the only thing now that is kind of skyrocketed during this process has been the intake of nuts. So maybe I'll give the nuts also a miss. So now on the ban list are milk, red meat, nuts, what else? Well, anything tremendously fatty. So what I will investigate is I'll first limit a lot of them, at least when I identify them as being decremental, or that I get the idea that it's decremental. Then I'll take them out of my diet and then slowly introduce them back into it, one at a time, so that I can kind of gauge what the effects are. Now I notice that exercise, which I don't, it's not a cause of anything, it is more of a symptom, being fatigue after exercise. So something else caused the actual, my current thinking is that it has to do with fats in my diet. Obviously I'm not a scientist, I can just look at stuff that others have done. So I'm looking at I think we're second in line. So this must be the quickest that I've ever got from the gate to the end of the runway. So there's only one plane in front of us. It's a BA plane. So I'll keep recording until this plane takes off, and then I'll see if I can, what do you call it, see anything interesting out the window. Because now the previous plane left.
Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff.
Here we go. I remember when this was kind of exciting too. Oh, sorry, there was one more before us. So yeah, I remember when this was halfway exciting. I remember my first ever flight. It was to Switzerland in a DC, or was it MD-83? We called them DC-9. And an awfully noisy plane. The engines were attached to the hull, which made it noisy. By the way, we actually went to, what is it called? Here we go. We actually went to Malminkartana Airport to to see the final flight of a DC-9. I think it was the first DC-9 that was ever taken into operation by Finnair, and it did tricks above the Malmi airfield, and it was, even though it's a small plane, it looked kind of spectacular. I wish to return soon. I somehow enjoy London. It's a horribly expensive place, but still I enjoy it.
Missing, so it is meat stew. So I'm gonna eat the vegetable portions out of it. Then I got two salads because I said that my order didn't go through. So what do you call it? And I took a couple of slices of rye bread. It was good on the way here. They're trying to wreck my diet, but I won't succumb.
So, final thoughts on the trip to London. I'm sad that I didn't receive a healing, but I'm glad, for example, I think the whole trip was positive to me, and I was glad that I saw my sister and maybe had a talk that we have never had, and we were talking about this, that it's due to our big age difference to a large extent that we haven't had stuff to do together, and I'm glad that the family got together to arrange a fast and pray for me, and I think that's one of the greatest positive fruits out of this thing, is that us as a family, we've kind of shown our colours and shown what and where our beliefs lie, and faith has become more common shared thing, which I think is excellent. Yeah, I need to recap that one. I cannot say that I did not receive my healing. I received my healing 2,000 years ago by Jesus' stripes, but my body hasn't yet realized it, and all the prayers that have been prayed and were prayed and will be prayed, they all benefit. I would do the trip definitely again. I pray that wisdom increases, so that, I mean, it can either be a miracle, or then we gain wisdom and then we behave in a correct manner. We have gained as a society wisdom that smoking causes cancer, so maybe we need to gain wisdom that certain foods make you ill, even though it's not a popular belief. Regardless of our wisdom and all of that, Jesus is King.